Hello, I'm Tom, and in this video I'll be teaching you how to paint a Slave Ogryn Gang from Necromunda in a very simple way using mainly Citadel Contrast Paints and washes. The first step is to do a Zenithal base coat on them. This is where you base the models black or grey and then spray white from above to create shadows. It's very simple to do. This is what will give our Ogryn skin definition and depth without having to paint multiple layers of flesh with numerous paints. It is important you get a smooth thin layer of white paint like on these ogryns. I've added some fine sand to some metallic parts to mimic rust. This is optional. I base coated the additional bits and backpacks separate from the models. They were assembled separately so that a glow effect can be done on the backpack coils. Here's a small selection of the contrast paints I used. This Ogryn was painted with Athonian Camoshade. I let that dry and then painted it with Plaguebearer Flesh. It would help if I filmed painting it. It is best to try and be neat when painting, as you don't want to stain all the white parts which will have different paints on later. After the Athonian Camoshade had dried, I went in with Plaguebearer Flesh to highlight some of the bigger parts of, like his pecs and head. With this second one, I used Volupus Pink, which is a contrast paint, mixed up with contrast medium to thin it out because it's a very strong pigment. Again, I tried to be very careful and not to go over the lines onto the other parts of the model, like the tabard and overalls. And as you can see there, I just went straight onto it, even though I said I was careful. So here is a completely base coated Ogryn. Almost all of it is painted using contrast paints other than the metallics. I use Gulliman Flesh on the skin here. Next stage, I used Streaking Grime from AK Interactive and completely covered the model in it. This is an enamel product. What you have to do is remove it with a cotton bud with white spirit on. You dip the cotton bud in the white spirit and slowly, gently dab off the enamel paint. It removes a little bit at a time and makes all the enamel run into the recesses, giving the model definition. It also weathers it at the same time. If you are new to using this product, then I suggest you give your model a thin base coat of varnish So if you're too rigorous with the cotton bud, you can rip off all your paint. So this is what it will look like after you've removed all the enamel paint. The enamels run into the recesses, giving it definition, and in some parts it stains some of the undercoat, making it look weathered and awesome. All you need to do now is base your model, and also completely optionally I drew some tattoos and graffiti on it using white paint and some bright colours. I also put a decal on the power fist. If you don't have steady hands, what you could do is paint a white block onto the panels and then use Sharpies to do the writing and faces of the graffiti and tattoos. I also painted a bullseye on his head just because it's funny. Here's one of the robotic style ones with the robotic heads that I painted some graffiti on his arms. He's got love and hate on his knuckles, so obviously that must still be cool in the future. So I gave him some teeth. And here's the glow effect on the backpack. I hope you enjoyed my video. Let me know what you think.